Welcome to In Moderation,
the show where we give you a moderate dose of info, sarcasm, and we already know we're not approved. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast In Moderation, episode 47 or something like that. Close enough. It might be half that. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But what does matter, I'll tell you, is we have a tremendous guest, which we've been told we haven't been doing very well at introducing our guests. And you know what? I actually agree. We're not really good at that. So Shyla,
we're terrible.
We've got you. We've got Shyla today. She's a registered dietitian. Why don't we let her introduce herself? Because she's probably better at that than I would.
Well, that would be nice because this is my first time meeting her as well. So, Liam has told me absolutely nothing about you. So please introduce yourself.
You probably should talk about yourself a little bit on our podcast, I guess.
That might be helpful. I'm Shyla. Yeah, I'm a dietitian. I'm from Maryland, and what else should I even say?
What got you interested in food? Why you become dietitian? Why you be dietitian?
I was like a really hardcore vegan in high school, like very much so. I met Dr.
Like
Greger.
Everybody knew you were vegan.
Everyone knew I was vegan.
If someone's vegan, they know you're vegan.
And everyone knew I was vegan, and it was everyone's problem. I met Dr. Greger. I met Dr. Barnard.
You did. See, I didn't even know this.
Well, there we go.
I've met all of them. I've worked with them. I've volunteered everything. I've news articles written about me. It's just it. So that started.
And then I'm assuming that all came crumbling down at some point.
It did. I went to college. It absolutely crumbled down though. I became an RD in June. I'm a very new RD, but I stopped being vegan in 2021. So this is, I don't know, kind of new.
So yeah, I mean, not that. So now you just infiltrate the vegans and you take them down from the inside. Is that what that was?
Essentially. No, I'm kidding. No, but sometimes I'll get hate comments from vegans, and I'm like, I know who you are. I know what you are. I know the arguments you're using, and it's really not wise right now like this. Don't be like this. Don't be like this with me. I have sympathy for you. We're here, okay?
I named myself the Plant Slant, and I still get people coming after me. I'm like, listen, I'm trying to get people more plants, but I'm not gonna jump.
I hate to tell you guys this. But there is a very strict carnivore in this room with me that's getting really upset that you're talking about veganism. I mean, he is so upset ferocious right now.
And he's leaving the camera right now. He's so mad. He doesn't even want to be seen.
People are used to be vegan because earlier he was attacking the microphone. He knew it. So yeah.
Yeah, he knew it.
I mean, that is interesting.
And I experienced some health issues. I didn't want to think my diet was part of it. So I did everything I could. I said, hey, what if I maybe expanded a little bit? What if? And I started to feel a little better, and here I am. So, and I still eat a lot of plants. I still have a lot of heavy plant-based days. Sometimes I accidentally eat vegan all day. It happens. But yeah, now I'm super interested in just I don't know. I've always just been interested
Accidentally
in
vegan
everything.
Sounds like the name of an album cover or something.
Basically,
really good,
literally. Sometimes that's my my lunch today. It was it's just what I packed. I had you know what I mean? It's just so now I just think about food a lot differently, and I'm not so freaking dogmatic about really anything. Okay. And I feel as a dietitian in practice, that's very important for me, and I try to convey that on my page.
It's very important because fish is delicious.
Fish.
It is, and I very much post a lot of seafood videos. Maybe, Rob, you'll see as you look at my content now, but yeah, I post a lot about seafood because I like it.
That's good. Yeah.
I will say, being in school right now to be a dietitian in school for nutrition, it sort of forces you to release some of your dogmatic ideas. Because I when I started getting interested in nutrition, I was obsessed with finding the holy grail of diets. I'm going to find the best diet that's going to solve all the problems and help the people. And then you kind of get into it and you're fuck. Nope. Everyone appears to be different, which is weird. I didn't know that before. But apparently, everyone's different and is in different situations. So you kind of just have to help people, one-on-one, which is kind of difficult because then you get into social media and you're like, oh, I'm talking to thousands of people now. So I don't. Yeah. You've experienced this, Shyla. I know I saw your post recently where it's you'll say hey, this is healthy. And people are it's not healthy for me because I'm allergic to it. And you're like, well,
I can go on.
Please, I understand. It's peanuts are good, but if you're going to die from eating peanuts, I would suggest you don't. You don't eat peanuts.
I'm allergic to
Yeah.
peanuts. Am I going to tell everyone to not eat peanuts? Absolutely not, because I have common sense. I'm not gonna, like,
So-
that's just not.
Well,
that's just,
that means you're doing social media wrong. You're supposed to fearmonger the peanuts because you're allergic to them.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you were going to go
also-
full on Paul Saladino,
Yeah.
carnivore MD, and just be like, yeah, it's got gluten, and people who have gluten intolerance have problems with gluten, therefore everybody does. Very simple.
Yeah. There we
You
go.
know,
But yeah,
like,
it's
I'm
funny.
not gonna say broccoli is horrible because it has goitrogens in it, and it's gonna,
And it makes
mess
people
with us.
fart a
Like,
lot.
I'm not gonna do all that. Like, and now people are like, oh, I have hypothyroidism, I can't eat broccoli, it's gonna mess with my like, oh my gosh. Like,
That brings me to the thing I think we need to start this conversation off with. And I think we all know, because, it's really been on our minds recently. I don't think I even have to say it. So Shyla, just take it away with what topic we need to go over.
What topic? Fiber. Fiber, is that what it is?
It is that it's close to that. No, I want to start this fucking podcast with the sugar-free gummy bears. Motherfucker, I have been thinking about these damn sugar-free gummy bears for a long time now. And the reviews, please, if you're listening to this podcast and if you haven't seen the reviews for sugar-free gummy bears, please stop listening. Just go listen to that, pick back up, because it's a trip. It's an absolute trip. So essentially, sugar-free gummy bears are used by making sugar alcohols. Now, Shyla, correct me if I'm wrong here. From my understanding, sugar alcohols cause GI upset for a lot of people because they digest more slowly, and therefore they ferment in your gut, and they can even draw more water in, which can give a laxative. So for people, there's stories of people eating like a whole bag of them and not realizing that. And everyone's different. I can handle sugar alcohols. Okay,
I was going to say that then there's us, and we're just like snacking on the bags of them and just like, whatever.
Oh,
Totally
But
fine.
don't do that, people. Don't do that if you haven't been eating lots of fiber.
I feel like you have like a stomach of steel or something. I really do.
I can't remember the last time I really like ate something and was like, oh no, I'm upset. Like, I can just plow through food, not food, grass, doesn't matter. I'm sure I could eat it and just be totally
He's
fine.
actually talked about eating grass on this podcast before.
I'm all about eating cheap, and what is cheaper than the most abundant plant?
Which you can go and grab outside. Absolutely.
We talk about fiber, we never talk about grass. I'm just saying. We're all about affordability.
Went on social media and said grass was anti-inflammatory, thousands would go outside and try it.
We found our new product, Hawk.
Like, I just
Grass.
Use all the
Liam's
buzzwords.
tincture made of grass.
I mean, it's green. You just blend it up. I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't sell awful. Like, that's all I'm saying. We probably wouldn't be millionaires, but we do okay.
convincing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sugar, I'm just selling. Anyway, for everybody listening, you got to look up like the Haribo sugar-free gummy bears. Like, it's similar with, have you guys seen Smart Sweets? Like, I don't know if Rob, they have it in Canada. So
yeah, we do.
So Smart Wheat
Surprise, we do.
I'm really surprised. Whenever Canada has literally anything, I'm like, oh, good for you guys. Yay, Canada. You're awesome. You've got a thing. A shiny new toy you can look at. So the Smart Sweets aren't sugar alcohols, but they do have a tremendous amount of fiber in them.
Yeah, they're tapioca starch, aren't they?
Typically tapioca starch.
Yeah.
They can have different ones in there, and they use other sweeteners, stevia, allulose, stuff like that. Which I want to circle back to allulose in a second, because I've been getting a lot of people ask about that. But the Smart Sweets, they just have a lot of fiber in them, which again can kind of have that laxative like effect. And I definitely wanted to get into fiber a little bit here. So, Shyla, what's your take on like because I get asked about all the time, I'm sure you do, the foods with like added fiber, the Smart Sweets, that sort of thing.
Right. I know I've been getting a lot of questions about that, like Olipop,
yep.
candy, like, all that stuff. And I just feel like, let's just call a spade a spade. Most people are getting about 10 grams, if I'm being generous, of fiber a day.
Yeah, if you're being generous.
That's impressive. It's impressively bad.
Like, so let's be real. But, those added things, I kind of feel like people like that don't have that much fiber normally probably would not benefit from something like a Smart Sweets, because it might mess them up. Because if you eat 8 grams and all of a sudden you're eating 20 in one sitting, and this is your one day and month, years of having 20 plus grams of fiber, you're probably going to have some discomfort. It's probably going to make you feel
Oh yeah.
and really it's like products like that, keto breads, smart sweet stuff like that have like a lot in one thing versus if you got it from Whole Foods, you'd have to eat a pretty significant amount to reach that high of an amount. So that's like my one thing where I'm like, at least be aware of that if you're gonna eat those. Otherwise though, I feel like, like Ollipops have like what?
I think
8,
9
9
grams of
grams.
fiber.
Yeah. Hey, if that gets your number up,
Right.
okay, you know what I mean? Preferably, you get this from Whole Foods. Preferably,
Yeah.
we make some lifestyle tweaks. Third, though, as you said in your recent video, Liam, those iPods are like $3 a can, and I know this because I like them, and it's annoying. But like, so I don't. For a lot of reasons, I feel like people shouldn't rely on those products, even though, like, numerically they can help you reach a number. But like,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Lollipop, it's the price more than anything. Every time I look at it, even if I'm buying one for a video, I stare at it before I buy it. And I'm like, there's no way this price is real. Like, there's no way they're charging $3 for a goddamn can of healthy soda. Like, just fucking give me
the bullet, though. I get them.
Oh, I'll buy one. Like, I'll buy one for a video, and I'm like, I better get this right on the first take, like, when I open it up, because I don't have another one to open up, because I'm not paying $6 for 2 cans. I could rant the rest of the episode about how much this costs.
I know.
2 cans of soda would cost me my entire savings for the entire thing I earn off of TikTok.
Oh, look at this. I've got 18 grams of fiber and it tastes shitty. Okay, some of the Ollipops taste fine. The grape is fine, but most of them...
Good.
Grape is good. I like grape.
That was just my favorite.
But there's other ones that I couldn't drink. I had to get rid of. Yeah, so... so just be careful that the other thing I wanted to say though is a lot of the foods with added fiber are soluble fiber. So the smart sweets, we were talking about soluble tapioca fiber and soluble fiber. Why don't you give us like a little intro? Can you give us a little intro into the difference between soluble and insoluble fiber, maybe, Shyla?
Yeah. So soluble fiber basically acts like a gel, draws water in, basically turns into gel.
Think of chia seeds when they're like soaked in
like you put chia seeds in the milk and then it goes like that. That's soluble fiber. Insoluble fiber, on the other hand, it just really adds bulk to your stool. Water is not going to absorb. It's really going to come right through you as it entered. Soluble fiber-ish in the same way as well, but that's going to undergo something called short-chain fatty acid conversion. So basically, that's the fiber that offers some sort of benefit as far as gut health, flora, things like that.
Right.
But so that draws in water. Soluble fiber will bring in water. So, if you have... I think the Lily's gummies have like 25, 26 grams of fiber in a little bag. Yeah, there's 70 calories. So, you're looking like, ooh, 70 calories. I could eat 3 bags of this and be fine. No, you will not be fine. You will have stories to tell to your children and their children's children. But you won't have a lot of calories that day. That is true. But it draws a lot of water in and you end up fighting for your life in the bathroom.
Exactly. Because, and that's another thing I always advise, like when I speak to people and stuff who are trying to up their fiber intake, please up your water intake because, it happens to kind of be that way that a lot of people who don't eat enough fiber also do not drink enough water.
Right.
And that's such a great reason why vegetables are a great way to increase your fiber
I thought we were going
intake.
back to
It's fiber and water.
Fruit comes with water.
I'm sorry, Olipop is out of my price range here, people.
Is it like $10 a can in Canada? Like how much? Like,
I think it's like I think it's 6, maybe 5.
You put down
6
payments on Olipop and I'll be back. I'm gonna get this can, I promise. One of these days.
Oh,
it tastes terrible.
Oh,
shit, on layaway. That's fucking great. I'm gonna ask for Christmas because that's all I get. Anyway, all right. We'll only talk about the expensive Olipop a few more times, I promise. Now I want to get into so we were talking about insoluble fiber. Now that is, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe what you get in like keto wraps and stuff like that. I believe they use a lot of insoluble fiber in the wraps.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm aware, and I haven't looked this up in a minute, but soluble fiber does contain some calories in it. It contains about 2, I believe, ish calories. For anyone that doesn't know, a gram of carbohydrates contains 4 calories. There's 4 calories per gram. Whereas, so a gram of fiber soluble will give you about 2 calories per gram, whereas insoluble fiber, correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's basically none, right? Like maybe our gut bacteria can feed off it in our
Yeah.
large intestine, but it doesn't give us calories.
Or wait, are you talking about soluble or insoluble?
Insoluble fiber, sorry.
Yeah, insoluble. Yeah, like yeah, it's basically nothing, and that's why in a lot of like keto wraps and stuff like that, like people who follow keto diet, they like bank on those like basically just being insoluble and not having the calories and stuff. But
That's
yeah,
why your corn's still in your poop.
Imagine Smart Sweets did the same thing. You just like little gummies. You're like, oh, I knew I had some Smart Sweets.
Oh my god! Yeah. And then the calories, because some people, like I've had people in my fiber videos be concerned. They're like, "Wait, the soluble has calories." Though I'm like, it's 2 calories a gram, and also it's just to account for short chain fatty acid conversion.
Right.
You're good.
So I say, like, it's if you're like counting calories and you want to get really dogmatic and count like the soluble fiber versus insoluble fiber, go ahead. Sounds like a nightmare to me. I'm hard pass. But yeah, so they both have, and people ask, I get asked a lot, like which one's better. I'm sure you asked that. I mean, they both have their benefits, right? Do you have anything kind of say about?
I feel like they both, like technically, I don't even like to get technical. Just get fiber, but like technically, it's recommended to get more insoluble fiber just so you can basically have shaped, formed poo. So, but like most, like so many whole plant foods have both. So people have asked me like, how much should I give each? Like, if you're eating whole plant foods, like you're likely going to get both in each food. Like sometimes some foods have more soluble, some foods have more insoluble, but a lot of them have both kind of for that purpose.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, that sounds awful to me. Like, okay, I'm going to plan my day around like how much soluble versus insoluble fiber. That sounds fucking
I'm going
awful.
to plan my day around my poop.
Yeah. So, I mean,
this is slowly becoming the second poop episode.
Well, we knew that from the start going into this one. I knew that was happening. There was no chance. Well, listen, none of us want carnivore poop, right? None of us want like these hard little nuggets like fucking deer or whatever. Okay. But like planning your day around which one you're going to get more of, just try and eat a variety of foods. And that's why, even when it comes to added fiber, I'll have some like gummies that have soluble fiber, have some wraps that have insoluble fiber. You're getting a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing I want to make sure, and I'll make sure you back me up on this, is the biggest thing you can do when it comes to fiber, because I get so many comments, people like, it destroys me, it wrecks me, it does all these things. You have to slowly add fiber over time. Like, you cannot just go straight to getting those 25 grams or whatever it is. Try and add a few more things we've talked about before. I'm sure we could spitfire a few options like popcorn and whatnot that you could slowly add some fiber in, and that will let your we don't understand the gut microbiome as far as I'm aware all that much, but we do understand it takes time for it to shift and change. So
here's what you need to do. You need to buy one of those pet treat dispensers, fill it with the gummy sweets, and only allow yourself to have one a day. One treat a day.
I can just see someone like an addict, like just turning it just over and over. I gotta get more of these.
Oh my god,
that would be great. Imagine someone comes to your house, like, "What's with the?" Listen, just leave me alone, okay? I'm working on my poop. That's all you need to know.
My last poop comment, but I'm kikiing and hollering, but my poop is very important to me. It really is, and I take pride in it.
It's as important what goes in this end that comes out the other end. Got it.
What can I say?
I mean, you don't want to be distracted while you're sitting there scrolling TikTok.
How many people don't like a ton of people get like heart attacks just from bearing down, like pooping? Like, that's why they want to give fiber to like the elderly. They're like, let's just make sure you don't have to bear down and have a heart attack on the toilet. So please get your fiber in. So yeah, slowly change.
That's an excellent question for when we have Dr. Aloe on.
Yeah, just how many heart attacks happen? We gotta get Dr. Aloe. First question when Dr. Aloe comes on, how many heart attacks happen because of pooping? That's our first question. But yeah, so you slowly add fiber in. And another thing I've seen is that fermented foods can actually help fermented foods kind of act as a probiotic. Adding bacteria is where fiber was generally known as a prebiotic, which feeds the gut bacteria you have. So possibly, and this still needs more research, but adding in fermented foods like kimchi, kombucha, like what are you guys have like favorite fermented foods?
I'm a kimchi gal. I get the big one from Costco.
Yes, the big one from Costco. It's like you guys have Costco. Canada has Costco. Yeah, that's another thing Canada has.
So good.
Yeah, we got Costco.
Do you have the kimchi?
Sweden this summer, and Sweden has a Costco.
A Costco.
Ironically, they don't
one
have IKEA.
single Costco.
I was shocked. It was beyond me. I was shocked.
Good job, Canada. We're doing better than Sweden. We've got more than one Costco.
We've got Costco. So yeah, kimchi is awesome. Right. I mean, you know, like all the fermented foods, even yogurt can add, you know, probiotics, all that's good. So by adding that into your diet,
kefir's a good one.
Kefir's a good one. Yeah, that's it. So that's a fermented dairy drink. Think of it kind of like, I don't know, Go-Gurt. Go-Gurt, but it's I mean, I've had it.
What about Bobby's colostrum?
Oh, the colostrum, man. That is a trip.
He has his own?
Well, he works.
No, he
company
Armra or something.
Armra. Man, what a fucking terrible name for a company. Like, forget the whole we're taking colostrum from cows and giving it to people and we're telling them it's helping them thing. Fuck that. The name is just terrible on its own. Armra? Like, that's even hard to say.
Yeah.
You've got 5 letters and 2 of them are R's. Stop it.
Takes a little to say, yeah. Yeah, all great options if you don't want to drink colostrum, which is totally normal.
If you don't want to pay $100, I'm not joking. It's fucking 100. Yeah. Forget the lollipop, $3, $100 a jar. Get the fuck out of here. But by adding fermented foods, and it can kind of, help your gut microbiome thrive, flourish, all that great stuff. And then adding in the fiber slowly over time can adjust, because it's funny because all these carnivore people will talk about like how our ancestors only ate meat, which most of us know now, like that's bullshit. It depended on a wide variety of factors and where people were located. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But if you look at a lot of the tribes, it's like 100 grams of fiber a day, up to 150 grams of fiber a day.
Yes. I actually recently learned that maybe like a year ago. And I was like, it's a lot.
Just a lot. Tubers galore. Like just straight. And there's no lollipop, which is just nuts.
Right? Like, how did they do it? How did they do it? How'd they make it?
It boggles my mind every time Carnivore MD brings up the HASDA studies and all those things. And he's talking about how they worship meat and they're always eating meat. And you look at the actual study and it's like 60 to 80% of their dietary intake was like root vegetables, fruit, stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I've done videos. I eat like over 100 grams of fiber a day and I'm fine, but I didn't get there overnight. It was slowly over time. So just, and I get so many comments, people saying like, oh, beans wreck me. I'm like, that's because beans have 7 grams of fucking fiber per, serving. And you've been eating 10 in a day.
Now in one meal, you don't know.
You're probably having more than 1 serving of beans. So now you've doubled it. You've literally doubled it over day. And you're like, oh, my body didn't like that. Shocking.
Yeah. Running off 2 glasses of water. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Get that kitty treat dispenser out. 1 bean a day.
One. Shouldn't this be refrigerated? Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's totally okay. I got different beans. I got a garbanzo. I got a kidney bean. I got a lima bean. Ugh, get rid of that one. I don't like the lima beans.
I got a jelly bean.
I got jelly. I got all the beans in my bean dispenser.
Oh my God.
But I mean, so I mean, that's kind of my little rant there. Do you have anything else, like just on the fiber, anything else you kind of want to add to the conversation about either just like gut health helping, in that sort of area?
We touched it. We cleared it.
So get your fiber.
We cleared our colons of it.
Slowly out over time, fermented foods, and get yourself a bean dispenser and forego the lollipop because it's too pricey. Unless you got fucking Bob Flav City money. Don't skip on the lollipop.
Hey, what still has me like dead? Like I see you made this video a minute ago. But I swear I think about it once a week. I think you posted a video of him and he pulled out a ribeye out the bag.
It's carnivore snacks. It's snacks SNAX in case anybody wanted to pay $40 for a dried steak in a bag.
Like I'm screaming. I can't.
And I love that in the video, like it's not open either. Like he's just like, yeah, they paid me. I get money from them. Here's this fucking dry ass steak in a bag. You know, it's funny because I go to a restaurant and I'm like, can you make it as dry as possible? And they're like, sir, we can't make it any more dry than you normally eat it. I'm like, this is how I normally eat it. In just this bag, completely bone dry. This is what I want you to do. What? It's like they're trying to be jerky, but they failed halfway through and they were just like, fuck it. We'll just throw it in a bag and see if people will buy it.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'm still there. So, but that's not even as bad as the $40 yogurt that he sells. Like there's literally the coconut yogurt. It's literally $40 a jar, and they're supposed to say like, oh, only eat a teaspoon or whatever. Like fuck that shit. I'm just give me my light and fit. It tastes better.
I saw
But
that.
according to Courtney, food elitism is selling the cheap stuff, and we're supposed to be promoting the expensive stuff that doesn't go to big corporations.
Big Kellogg getting rich off us.
Oh yeah.
I frequently get asked to make videos about him, about Flav City and stuff. And I'm like, listen.
It's a dangerous rabbit hole. I will tell you from the source.
Like, listen, everybody makes videos about this man. He knows it. He gets the attack.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm okay. If you would like to see a video about him, there's plenty. There's plenty out there.
I mean, Bobby is starting to crack though, so like
the boot is getting pressed down harder and harder, and I feel like we're almost there. Like he's got to be losing money by now. Anyway, we don't have to make this whole episode about taking down Bobby. But yeah, so I mean, let's see. So yeah, we talked about fiber. I would love to just, I don't know how much time we have, but I'd love to just at least run through the other kind of macronutrients would be awesome. Just give people a quick rundown because I think just the basics is I love sticking to that. So like protein, generally guideline for just being healthy. We're not talking about going to the gym. What do you recommend people get for like just, staying? I want to be healthy. I'm a regular person, Shyla. I'm an average person. I want to be healthy. What should I do with protein? What am I doing?
The normal basic recommendation is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. Honestly, at least in my own experience, I've seen people do good with more like 1, to be honest. Like even if they do moderate exercise or like normal, like few walks every day or like, you know what I mean? And then, I mean, because, protein's been that thing on social media.
No, protein was last year. It's fiber this year.
Right,
so
yeah. Apparently it's like
okay.
2024 is fiber year. Fiber.
It's like year of the fiber, whatever. But yeah, like on social media, everyone's like, high protein, everything. The air outside when you go outside needs to be high protein, okay? And I'm just like, okay, y'all. And I feel like, because now I'm gonna go on a little thing. I feel like, if you, especially depending on how active you are, protein powder, okay, add it to your routine. But I feel like a lot of like high protein hacks and stuff like that, it works. But I also feel like we've gotten a little bit far from the fundamentals. I think social media particularly has like sort of skewed the idea and made people kind of less able to realize how simple it is to get good amounts of protein, even if you're trying to have a high protein goal. Like,
I was just thinking that there's a lot of foods that people don't realize are good protein sources.
Not everything needs to be a hack. Not every, you know what I'm saying? Like 3 meals a day and like a snack or something that's like protein based. Like so many things as is has protein in it that you can reach your goals, even if you're someone who works out like twice a week or you're someone who's like, strength training 4 or 5, 6 days a week. You know what I mean? And I don't know. That was my little rant, I guess.
So, I mean, for anybody listening that only uses freedom units like I do, it's about like 1 gram. It's about half a gram of protein per pound, so that's kind of like,
right, I guess for you, Rob. I know you're not really.
So Rob's the only one that understood that. So I just wanted to make sure. I know you were giving him a bone because Canada has like nothing.
Because
but
at work, we also like talk. I talk kilograms all the time and centimeters and stuff. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's all
give in to the metric system.
The whole thing's an absolute mess. But we did put a man on the moon, so we're going to use our system. So I think somewhere around like if you're going to the gym and you're like really focused on building muscle, that sort of thing, people talk about like 1 gram per pound. Like you can go up to that if you want, but for just generally being healthy, yeah, you can eat. And I want to rant about something that kind of annoys me is I've been tagged in a lot of videos where people are like, oh, people were saying that nuts are a good protein source. Wrong. They're awful. They suck for protein. They're dog shit. Throw them in the trash, piss on them, and burn them to death. Like, holy shit, bro. Calm down. Like, an ounce of pistachios has 6 grams of protein. I know for you, who's just like deep throats raw chicken breasts, that's nothing. But like for your average person, like, peanuts and like,
that's a good rant, because I think, and this is my biggest thing with a lot of social media, especially in the nutrition sphere, people take an ounce of what might be a half truth and turn it into an absolute. And
absolutes are what do well on social media.
Like nuts, okay, they have more fat. If you're trying to stay within a certain caloric deficit range thing, you probably don't want to eat a whole lot. And if you do eat a whole lot to reach a protein goal, it might not be as efficient for weight loss or, stuff like that. Sure. But like, you can still get a decent amount of protein from them.
And nuts, beans.
It's almost like you can have one handful of nuts instead of making it your entire diet.
And there it is. There's the solution.
So yeah, if you're trying to add some protein in your diet and you snack on nuts, yes, that adds, a few grams here and there. That stuff adds up. Just if you're just generally trying to be healthy, yeah, you could absolutely get there.
If I wasn't allergic, I would eat them, but I am. So.
Wait, if you're allergic, you're not allowed on this podcast anymore. Sorry.
Because we can't ask the crunchy or creamy peanut butter. She just has to do it off guess.
Yeah, First of all, and I tried it when I was younger, like really young. It was gross. So I'm not even mad at it. I don't even like peanut butter. So whatever.
Whatever you have to tell yourself.
Okay, where's the eject button?
It's totally fine. Whatever you got to tell yourself. That's okay. Peanut butter is the greatest thing ever. So, beans. And we talk about like plant sources of protein. Plant sources absolutely added. I see all the time people like, oh, Kodiak cakes don't count because it's made from wheat. And wheat is not complete protein. Yada, yada, yada. Shut the fuck up. All plant sources, if you're eating a balanced diet from different plant sources, all that counts. It's totally great. Plus all like the digestibility, people like, oh, you don't digest as much of the protein. Like, one, that was based off like old like animal models, and two, as long as you're getting enough total protein, it's fine. This is only something people have to worry about in like developing countries. Calm down. So yes, protein somewhere around there is great. And then I'd love to just quickly touch on carbohydrates. We talked about fiber. Obviously, we want people to focus on what we call like complex carbohydrates. I've seen some people kind of like talk about like, maybe I don't like that term or whatever, but what's your...
I don't like it. Wait, what? Who doesn't like
it? Sorry. Just like, I don't know. I've heard some people talking about like complex versus simple carbohydrates, and there's like some gray area in between, and just, definitions. It's not that, it's not that big a deal, but it's just kind of like people talk about like, oh, bagels, that's simple carbs. You can't have that, that sort of thing.
Well, what annoys me is the demonization of sugar and the misrepresentation of this whole thing, because carbs are sugars. That's what they are.
So yeah, if you don't know, all carbohydrates get broken down into simple sugars. It's just, do they take longer? Are longer chains because they're in their whole, like you look at like a whole wheat or a potato or something that has resistant starch, that sort of thing. Do you have any like recommendations for people just on carbs? What to look for, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I will say, obviously carbs, I would say out of all the macros, are the most demonized, transcending time.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's start there. And I think we have room for healthy discussion about carbs, about complex and simple carbs. I think we can talk about these in appropriate ways, and I think we should encourage that. So, the slower digesting carbs that have fiber, that have micronutrients like vitamins and minerals and stuff like that, that's going to be stuff like oats, which, all of a sudden they're horrible.
They're filled with glyphosate, fucking poison. Of course they are.
They do. What can I say? And fruits and vegetables and things like that. Like we talked about earlier, fiber is what's going to help slow the digestion mainly of those carbs. It's going to help your body just process the sugar better, more efficiently, versus if you had a candy bar that really doesn't have any fiber in it. But this is why, and I really like how we're, kind of changing the tune of our discussion around carbs and kind of discussing how to build a plate with them. If, you eat a piece of cake, you know what I mean? Maybe like I try to encourage people for perhaps if you know that you're gonna have a meal before you have that, piece of cake. That's going to be good because chances are your meal is going to be protein centered. You know,
Right.
you're probably,
Right.
you
Yeah.
might have a vegetable with it, maybe, which is going to be fiber. And so, you know, your blood sugar will probably react a little better versus if you just had the cake on its own, or, you know, having like a glass of milk with it. Or, you know, some people like to put Greek yogurt with their desserts for the protein to help also slow the blood sugar response. I'm glad that we're kind of shifting the tune of our conversations like that, just because it makes it more practical for people. And, you know, it's not like, hey, you have to swear off all this
Right.
because, first of all, it's unnecessary and
Yes.
it's also unrealistic. So, like,
Yeah.
you know, let's, you know, teach and actually educate on how you can include these foods in a way that is works for you and works for your body.
Less
Yeah,
restricting,
we
and more
often
adding.
don't eat things in isolation.
Yeah. And I think a lot of our nutrition conversations are as if we do, you know, like people are like, oh, beans are incomplete. Are you only eating beans?
Yes, exactly.
That's it. You know what I mean?
Sugar's terrible. Like, well,
Yeah.
if you just ate
Yeah.
it by the spoonful.
Are you, yeah, like, are you know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Oh man, I
Yeah.
tell you, like people say, like sugar's addicting. I'm like, listen, Charlotte, I'm gonna right now. Okay, pretend I'm gonna give you a bag of sugar, a big old bag of sugar with a massive ass spoon, and be like, Shyla, eat as many spoonfuls of sugar as you want. How many spoonfuls of sugar are you just gonna plow right into your mouth?
I'm going to get ill before I probably even think about getting past one.
I think I could maybe
3
do
for
one.
me.
3?
I honestly,
3.
I
I've done it before. I know it's 3.
I
3
literally
spoonfuls
feel
of
so
sugar?
Ill. I feel ill thinking about it. Like,
I mean, I don't know. We need to ask our listeners, our
That
viewers.
third one was just kind of like, okay, I'm like
but you got
so
it down.
done with this, but I got it down.
Holy crap.
We need backup from people listening. Like, how many spoonfuls of sugar could you eat? Because I think I could maybe get through one. But and the thing is, like, you look at something like butter. Now I'm just gonna give you a couple sticks of butter and be like, unless I know carnivore people will just fucking deep throat it. But like, what? How many bites of a stick of butter are you gonna eat?
Yeah,
Just
probably none.
Probably none, because that sounds fucking awful.
I might lick it.
I'll sniff it.
Yes. Like, yes.
I'll smell it. I'm not beat that. But if I combine those two things to make a cookie, obviously now I'm going to eat a whole bunch of them. So it's really this combination of simple sugars and fats together. And can I just like...
It's almost like humans like flavor combinations.
I'll tell you what frustrates me is people always... People demonize carbs, and the first thing they say are what? French fries, potato chips, these sorts of things, pizza. I'm like, you realize those have more fats than carbs, right? Like potato chips have a lot more calories from fats than carbs. Yet for some reason we're only demonizing the carbs in that. Like that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I've talked about this too, which this is another topic that I also will, you know, I think I've talked about it once on my page and never will again. Seed oils, just, you know, stuff like that, the annoying stuff like that. I just can't.
It's very annoying.
But like, but
I hate to tell you this, Liam, but these Pringles are 15 grams of fat and 29 grams of carbs
what
per
flavor is
serving.
that?
Well, wouldn't that mean still more calories
Barbecue.
than fat? Because there's 9 calories
Well,
per
okay,
gram.
okay.
Sorry, I meant calories, not grams.
Calories. Okay. Yes, that's more calories from fat. Yes.
I know, but that like what I talked about it once on my account, and I was like, you know what, y'all, I'm gonna say it once, I'm not gonna say it again. I think we need to zoom out when it comes to food, and it was about seed oils and you know, just fat content, just foods like that. Like, you know, you might not feel super amazing just because you no longer eat canola oil. You might feel super amazing because you stopped eating a lot of chips, a lot of desserts, a lot of fried foods that contain more things.
It bums me out so much because I see people like, oh, I stopped eating zebra cakes for breakfast, and now I eat these Whole Foods, and instead of candy, I snack on dates that have peanut butter in it, and I feel better. And I'm like, and so your conclusion from that was that sugar is poison and seed oils are toxic? Like I can't
get some here. Like yeah.
How about we just add in some more of the whole foods, some more, you know, more fiber and more micronutrients, and you know, you feel better. Like, that jump, it sucks. It really does.
More fish and chips.
I love fish and chips. Oh
there we go. Fish and chips all the way.
I literally think I'm going to get some tomorrow. I was thinking about it. So that's how I feel. Like, I just get tired. Like, why?
It's so tiring. It's so fucking it really is.
Like, aren't you exhausted?
It
Aren't like I'm talking to the people that just overcomplicate it. Like, aren't you exhausted?
I'm exhausted watching them. Like, I can't imagine what the fuck
Yep.
they're doing. Holy shit.
The hoops that they're jumping through, the hurdles.
But
that
the money you make off the supplements.
I was about to say they're just looking at the money.
It helps that a lot.
It helps. I guess.
Listen, guys, ultra processed food is bad. Now, here's my greens powder that has 84 ingredients in it. Okay, so first thing we do is we ultra distill. Like, what the fuck? What was that?
Liam, it's a proprietary blend. Don't give them any information.
I can't.
Just slap all the names on the label. You're good to go.
We've got 80 things in it. Number of ingredients bad, except this. Except this list. This list impressive. That list bad.
Give them a whopping 2 grams of fiber. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Have you seen? I mean, you might have seen, Shyla. Like, they do like, oh, there's the 50 brain cell challenge. You lose a brain cell for every ingredient, and I'm just like,
oh,
I don't think you had 50 to begin with. It's so bad.
So that guy that does the 50 brain cell challenge, one time when I did a video of his, he actually reached out to me, and we had a discussion, and he was like, yeah, I'm really into helping people, etc., etc. Oh, would you like me to do your marketing for you? Because I'm a marketer.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I like, I'm not really at that point yet, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing he does is turns around and does this video that's just kind of like attacking me.
Yeah.
Like, all he wanted was me as a marketing client.
Right. It's about the money. It's always about the fucking money. It is exhausting to see, but
yes.
I mean, it's kind of what it is. But anyway, that's enough sad shit. So, Shyla, let's say, hey, I'm coming to you. I'm a new person trying to be healthy, okay? And I don't really know where to start, okay? I've got this plate here, all right? So I got this plate for me, and I don't really know what do I do? Like, what are some tips I can get for just making, just like a simple, balanced meal? I'm just trying to generally be healthier. I'm not looking for anything super crazy or specific or fad diets or anything like that.
Like, just how to build a plate.
Yeah, help me out here.
Usually what I do, this is your plate, right? I guess. No, that's terrible.
Looked a little bit more like a heart there.
Right?
This is your heart.
So, you're going to see, imaginary plate. Usually we say half non-starchy vegetables. Non-starchy vegetables are things that aren't like potatoes, corn, stuff like that. Those are going to be things like broccoli, Brussels sprouts.
I've been getting into broccolini. Oh, holy shit. Is broccolini good? You don't like broccolini?
No, I like it. Okay. I really do.
I was going to say.
I think it's about the long stem. It just gets me.
Ooh, asparagus too? Yeah, it fucking destroys your bathroom and it smells awful. But like,
that's why I literally asparagus like once every 6 months. Like, I can't.
I tried white asparagus. I felt gypped as fuck. It tastes worse, and it's like $6 for a fucking bushel. I don't know what it is. Whatever, a spear. Not a spear.
So funny.
It's individual spear. You know what I'm saying? A little thingy. You get it. You bring it home. You eat it. And I was just, you could see the joy left my face as soon as I ate one spear of white asparagus.
I'm glad I never fell victim to that thing. Because sometimes I've been like, and I just.
No, anybody listening, don't get the white asparagus. It's twice the price and half the flavor.
Yuck. Yeah. But half non-starchy veg and a quarter of a carb. What? Rice? Could be a potato. Could be pasta. Things like that. And something that I always talk to people about building their plates too is that a lot of times, especially people that maybe, insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, or have diabetes, is that like dishes that normally would be like mainly all carbs, like they can be sides too. So like if you cook spaghetti, like the spaghetti doesn't have to make up your entire plate. Like it can be a side to things, you know what I mean? And I think that perspective helps a lot of people.
100%.
And then the other quarter would be protein, whatever that is. Chicken. Fish, whatever you want. Yeah, for me, fish.
Yes, Liam, I like this guest.
I love fish, but then people also get confused because then for someone who is really new to nutrition, they're like, well, like what about like a sandwich or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not actual thing. It's not an actual plate with parts.
How do I put this on a plate? Do I have to take the burger apart and then put it on each little part?
So I'm always like, then just focus on making sure you're getting all those groups. So like obviously your bread will be your carbs. Boom. We got it figured out.
Absolutely.
And then what? Are you having like turkey or something? Are you having chicken? Are you having like beans or something? Protein. And then, like I always tell people like a sandwiches, I have no idea why people can't stand sandwiches. They're the quickest way to get so much just there.
100%
Like,
agree.
you know what I mean? Like you put, and then what? You put veggies like a lot of people do. Lettuce, onions,
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm
Load
saying?
that thing up with as much veggies as you
Tomatoes.
can.
You could
Yes, for the fiber.
You could do a black bean
Tomatoes,
burger.
whatever.
Like I love like black bean burgers are awesome. They have fiber. They still have protein. Maybe not a ton, but they still have still have
Yes.
some. And then you can get vegetables. You could get if you want to do like a whole grain bun or something like that. Personally, I'd
Cool.
rather just get like a regular bun. I love me like the like everything big like the everything buns or whatever. They got like all the different seeds and stuff on there.
Where do you get that, sir?
It's called a store. It's called a grocery store. No, what do you mean? It's like everything
Like
buns.
store, everything bagel, but not a bun. I've never seen
it's
that.
a bun, but it's got like everything. It's got all the things on it.
I guess
It's
I'll
got
have
all
to
the
look at
seeds
the
and whatnot.
store.
I like that because I like a little texture. Yeah, so I throw that on there, and yeah, you get a little micronutrients from that, whatever. But yeah, I just think it tastes better. So I'll get my whole grains and shit elsewhere. Whatever. I'll have some oats.
Yeah,
So that sort of thing. So yeah, like it's totally fine, just and it's sandwiches like that drives me crazy. Like it's already sort of a balanced meal. You do a couple little things and you're all set. Okay. Throw an avocado. Ooh, throw an avocado on like some kind of sandwich. Fuck, it's so good.
Boom. Like, come on.
I live in Canada and I don't have options.
So what's a sandwich? I don't know.
What's a sandwich?
Sandwich?
Do you put maple syrup on it?
Is that the thing you hit the golf ball with? No, that's a wedge. Right. Sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
Golf ball? Is that like hockey on snow?
Everything's just related to hockey. Yeah, so like picture the puck, and that is your burger. Yeah, so I mean, just what I'd say, like when it comes to building a plate, I love that method. I've seen it many times, but I still enjoy seeing those sorts of videos where you just break it down and you can just go like, what do you like? Like, okay, I really like farro. Like I don't know if a lot of people haven't heard of that one. You're not a big fan of that. It's got more of a texture to it.
That's what it is. I think it's the bite. I don't know.
I like that bite. Where I don't like the bite of quinoa. People have told me to try it all sorts of different ways, and I'm just like,
I don't like the bite either.
I'm not a fan of the quinoa. So you're gonna find these things, and people will be like, "Oh, try this." Like, "Oh, I don't like that." That's fine. Find
Yes.
any of them. It doesn't matter. How many times have you been asked, like, which is the best whole grain, which is the best vegetable, which is the best fruit, which is the
a big debate that people constantly have on my page is like I think people they just get pissed when I talk about brown versus white rice. I'm also a freelance writer, and I wrote that on the article on the site that I write for, like, brown rice is really not that different. And the people they had their tidies up. Like, oh my God. Like, it was crazy. The same thing happens on TikTok all the time. So I get a lot of questions about rice, and I stand by it. They're not that different.
Oh, the micronutrients, I mean, white rice is often fortified, so you'll have more of certain minerals, whereas brown rice will have more of other ones. And it has, what, a gram of fiber per serving? Like brown rice has like 1 or 2 grams, and white has 0, roughly. So I'm like, pick whichever rice you like.
I'm going to let you guys in. I'm going to let everybody in on a big secret here. I'm going to do it Liam style. Hold on.
Canada
I'm going to let you in on a big secret here.
There you go.
The best thing to eat is the thing that you're going to eat.
It's the thing you will eat and stick to eating, not eat for a goddamn week and then give up.
Yeah. Like, again, we have to zoom out. If you having white rice on the bottom helps you, like, eat your veggies and eat your proteins, because it's just a great vehicle for all of those things, and then you do the same thing with brown rice and it's a bad experience, please just eat the white.
Like, you get so bent out of shape. And then as soon as it becomes like from a takeout, it immediately becomes bad. Like, you know what I like? I've been getting a lot of like Chinese food. Like I get white rice, I get mixed vegetables, and I usually get shrimp or tofu. Those are like the 2 things I normally get. I'm like, that's a pretty balanced meal. Oh, but it's got sauce that has sugar in it, seed oils. Like, it's a pretty balanced meal overall. Like, yeah, it's delicious and I'll eat a lot of it, but like, it's not
also
bad.
people. Liam's going to yell at you to wash your rice in a second here. but I'm also going to yell at you. Flavor your rice. You can use like chicken stock. You can use spices. You can use herbs.
That I'm like, you can like, because something that I do to kind of like up the protein a little bit in rice is I'll just do it in bone broth.
Bone broth, yep.
And like it tastes better. And you
oh yeah, using a good broth to cook your rice in is amazing.
Like I know people just think it got to be water, boom, that's it. Like no, you can put a little olive oil. You could season it for all I care.
Throw some
like,
Gatorade in there. Let's see. I want blue rice. Goddamn.
Okay, I'm gonna try that.
It's got electrolytes.
I'm trying that.
I want rice that has electrolytes in it.
It's gut healthy. All of a sudden, people lollipop in there. It's fine.
Holy shit, lollipop! We could sell this fiber. If this is the fiber rice right here, you cook it in a lollipop. Now, it cost $57.42 to make a cup of rice. Yes, but this is about your health, people.
Think about the fiber.
Lollipop rice. Use the grape one.
Just prepare yourself for the toilet after you eat it.
Oh shit! I want to use the grape one so bad. I want purple rice. I want purple rice.
Does that like exist? Like purple rice.
Okay. We're making purple rice, and then we're rewriting Purple Rain as the song to cover it.
Okay. So this is a different type of purple rice that I've ever had before. It's very sweet. Yeah, it's a different variety. I get it from like one local region and just in Taiwan. This is not important. Hold on, let me get rid of my cans. Just throwing all the lollipop cans out. I may be broke, but I'm healthy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I usually throw like the better than bouillon stuff. If you ever tried that, I love that stuff. I just, because I just like the vegetable stock or chicken stock, like it takes up so much room and you put it in the fridge. I got so much shit in there already. I like just having the better than bouillon stuff. Teaspoon in a cup of water or whatever, tablespoon, whatever it is, done.
Yeah.
And then there's me over here. We make our own stock because, I always buy chickens whole, portioning them up myself. Got to do the whole putting everything into it. Got to do the scavenger hunts.
Got to hit those savings,
Go
man.
Pick my mushrooms.
Wow.
We don't have that supplement money here. All right.
Okay.
Cost savings. I hit up the fucking...
I mean, hey, I get $5 a month from TikTok. I got to spread that out.
That can get you a lot in my clearance section. If you haven't seen my videos, I find the fucking fines. I find the fines there.
It's too funny.
Yes. I don't know how many times we have to say that. Check your clearance sections.
Every episode now is going to start off, hey, welcome to In Moderation. Check your clearance sections. And today we have...
It's true, though. They always have it in the weirdest spots, like right next to the bathroom. Like, okay.
I know. They try and hide it. They always try and hide it. I don't take that shit.
Yeah, I find it. Look.
And then the meats in like the meat section, they usually have like on the end, they'll have like a little discount part. Like, and a lot of stuff, it's just because it's going to go, off. It's going to go best by date in like a couple days. Take it home, freeze that shit.
Exactly. Freeze it.
For later.
Exactly.
Or even take it home and cook it right away. Throw it in a crock pot.
There's that.
Yeah.
There is that.
Listen, if everyone's not super healthy by the end of this episode, I don't understand how. We gave you every possible... we gave you all the tools.
Free. I can't. I'm spitting knowledge right now for everyone.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We got to back up. Everybody fucking back up. Holy shit. We didn't even talk about one thing that we get asked about constantly. Supplements. Holy shit. When people start off, they're like, which ones do I need? Okay, so give us a quick little, I don't know, tier list of like fucking, okay, here, I'm going to give you like S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, F. Okay, what about vitamin D? Where's that? Shyla?
Well, tons of people are deficient in vitamin D across the world. Most people will, in this country especially, they will test, find they're low. Probably could use a supplement for that.
Okay, so what, S tier, A tier?
Got an office job.
Yes, if you have an office job. Wait, what'd you say, Liam?
I said A tier, S tier for
what the heck is S tier? Is that
S
like
tier's
lab?
above A. It's like superb.
Oh, really?
S is
Yeah.
awesome,
S is
amazing.
like-
Everybody needs this.
Yes.
Oh, we could put vitamin, honestly, just because of just the grave issue, we'll make it S.
S tier. I think S tier, like
I would
I would
put it S for people with office jobs and stuff. If you get outside more, you got like a construction job, it's dropping down to like a C.
Yeah. Like if your levels are normal, like, but the reality is a lot of people's levels aren't normal. So like a lot of people, and then also, you know, people with my skin tone, black people, darker people, like deficiency is just, it's more common and it's also more difficult to correct. So yeah, I definitely
because I think vitamin D is like one of the few supplements that's actually worth it. That's actually worth it. I would, and then you know, the next one people ask about is magnesium. I know you talk about that. A lot of people are deficient in that, not getting enough in food, that sort of thing.
So for that, honestly, a lot of people would probably benefit from a magnesium supplement, but there's a few things that I try to point out. When we say deficient, we're talking about people not meeting their needs via diet. Why? Because there is no validated way to test true magnesium deficiency. So, you know, we can only really quantify it by how people consume it in their diet. And if they're not eating enough, we can suspect that they don't have enough total body stores. And so, you know, with that, like I said, though, we really don't have a way to quantify deficiency.
But people aren't getting enough. So, you know, would you recommend a specific type of?
I would say, So for as far as specific type, you know, everyone talks about glycinate.
Yeah.
And it helps a lot of people sleep better, helps a lot of people feel more relaxed, might help some people with mental health as far as anxiety and stuff like that. Just helps them feel a little bit more relieved, relaxed. But I also try to talk about on my page, which is something that a lot of people experience, is that glycinate can actually be excitatory. It can actually it can make insomnia worse for some people. It can make anxiety worse for some people. It could just do nothing at all. And so if you want to kind of, you know, support your body's levels of it, like glycinate's fine, try it. So usually a good intro for a lot of people, but for a lot of other people, it really doesn't help them. It does the opposite. So I always try to talk about that because a lot of people don't talk about that because they don't know that. And so, citrate, if you just want to poop, maybe just do citrate.
If you're not eating enough gummies.
Okay, at the start of this episode, I'm just going to like add a little dub-in thing that's like, hey, everybody, get a drink ready. Take a shot every time we mention anything to do with the toilet.
Yeah.
Not like an alcoholic drink because people will be fucking toasted, but like water or something.
Yeah.
Just making sure because no, we don't want to send anybody to the hospital here.
Yeah.
Well, we could always make them have a Bobby approved alcoholic drink.
With pesticide-free wine.
It's because of you, Liam. But like sometimes I'll like post something and people will make like a Bobby approved joke. They're like, "Is this Bobby
approved?" Oh, I get those every episode.
I was talking about playing a game on stream.
I know. I was talking
and they'll ask if the game is Bobby approved.
A T-shirt. Damn, guys. And the answer is always no. Well, like you don't need to ask.
If it's not paying Bobby, it's not Bobby approved.
Oh my goodness. So what do you say? Like we put it A tier, magnesium.
I would say.
See, personally, I would put it B tier and then pumpkin seeds A tier because pumpkin seeds are awesome.
Pumpkin seeds, I have a good
one serving's like 30%.
Well, like proof, with food though, the only because here's the thing again. A lot of this is in the ideal world of people just, you know, have more varied diet. And the reality is they aren't. And then also through food, absorption rate is really like 30-40%. So even if people are eating a little bit more, it's probably not going to be enough to meet their dailies.
So I say
I just wish people just ate, I don't know, I just wish people ate more varied.
Right. That's what we all wish, especially trust me, like you get into school to be like a dietitian, you'll see like, wow, this is a little depressing here. Like 95% of people don't get enough fiber, 90% of people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables.
What am I gonna do? Yeah.
Oh boy, this is and then they come to you and like, what's the best cutting board I should use? Shut the fuck up. Like, can you please not ask me like what the best air fryer that I need to buy? Like,
I don't know.
Although I must say, please don't use a glass cutting board, people. Take care of your knives.
That's about your knife. That's
That's about your knife.
Yes. That's a thing. Yeah. People, it'll fuck up your knife. But anyway, what about fiber supplements? Because I would put that like kind of like A or B, because like it could help. Most people aren't getting enough fiber, so it's helpful. It's not as good as from food, but like I do think people could benefit from like a $10
Yeah.
jar of
Yeah.
Metamucil or
Yeah,
whatever
like
it
a
is.
lot of people are asking about supplements and stuff like that for fiber, and I just get upset because like you can eat food, but like
Yeah.
a lot of people could probably use it. They could probably
Right.
find benefit from it.
Exactly.
A lot of people in my experience working and stuff like that, just a little psyllium husk is what
Yeah,
they
get the
need.
cheapest thing of
Yeah.
psyllium husk or whatever you
You
can.
do not need the
Unicity.
unicity.
Don't need
Yeah.
that. You don't need to pay
But
hundreds
yeah,
of dollars.
I've said it a couple times that I keep a jar of psyllium husk on hand. If I feel like I'm not getting enough fiber in a day, then
Yeah.
I'll throw some in to something.
Yeah.
Throw some in my cooking, whatever.
I throw it in my bean
I also
dispenser, just kind of
recommend
mix it
it.
up, and
Yeah.
then it covered
Yeah, there we
in more
go.
fiber.
I recommend. I said recommend it. Anyway, I recommend it to people who like because a lot of people experience like travel constipation. So like a lot of people find use in having like a fiber supplement on hand when they travel. And then just like throw them back to water because it could just help.
Yeah, I can see
Keep
when you're
things
traveling and you're just getting like fast food or whatever like that, you're probably going to get next to no fiber, right? You're probably not much to if you depending on what you can find. So I think that's a great idea if you're traveling something. Is there any, I mean, what else? Vitamin C? No, like I put that shit way down there. You don't need that
whatever
shit.
the last one is.
F.
Yeah.
You don't need multivitamins. Man, I used to take multivitamins. I stopped taking that shit. Throw F. Like, there's no. People ask me all the time, "What's the best multivitamin?" The one that's still on the shelf, because
Me too.
there's like no evidence supporting it being beneficial. Like that I've seen.
I don't. Yeah, there was this recent big thing that I think people were like, "Oh my gosh, we found that multivitamins." I think actually like maybe a month ago or something, or a few weeks ago, some large study came out about how it benefited old people and stuff like that, and it just
maybe
multivitamins are great. And I'm like, wait,
like we're talking about old people that aren't getting most of the food that they need in the first place. They barely get any of the protein they need.
Yeah. Exactly. There's bigger.
I think,
we'll throw that down there. Fish oil. I used to take that again. I stopped taking that. There's maybe benefit if you're vegan and that sort of thing. I get that, but for most people,
vegans, I'll like a bit like algae oil.
Yeah, obviously not taking fish oil, algae oil. For omega-3s, but for most people, I mean, I've seen some problems because of tainted supplements. That's always a huge problem with supplement industry. Like they're not really regulated.
People from specifically for all supplements, but omega-3s, those are you really kind of got to vet your sources with those.
They're very fragile. Omega-3s are very fragile. You put them into pill form, it's just not. There's a good chance it's not going to be nearly as beneficial as getting it from fish or whatever. So I don't know any other what other supplements do you get asked about?
For the omegis,
that's how Canadians say it. Yeah, right, got it.
Yeah, for the omegis, we for most of people just watch your supermarket for one of those big freezer bags of salmon to go on sale and just have like one of those once in a while. I
like the little packets of salmon. The little, like tuna packets, but it's salmon.
It doesn't need to be fresh, grass-fed salmon from Antarctica, whatever, in crystal glacier waters.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be all that.
You'd think they were swimming in those people's supplements the way they push that shit. It's fucking nuts. Calm the hell down. But yeah, I can't think of. I mean, I like creatine personally. I think a lot of people, especially if you're working out, can be beneficial.
I mean, it's literally one of the most, if not studied.
It's probably the most studied sports supplement. 5 grams.
So,
you don't need to load it just every day. We've talked about this before, but I put that like A tier. I think a lot of people could use that. You don't have to take it, but it is beneficial.
Yeah.
And there are some studies coming out that it's beneficial for mental health as well.
I've seen some of those. I think it's still kind of early on. Yeah, I've started to see that. But so I think that's good. Monohydrate, whatever's third-party tested. I usually get like NutriCost, doesn't matter. Use my code. What no, in moderation creatine. That's our next step.
There we go.
What? So is there any other supplements you asked about? Like, what the fuck? I
Yeah,
can't think of anything else. Those are the big ones.
You know, because then you got the obscure ones that people try and ask about. But yeah, those I feel like those are like
Yeah,
the
so
big
pretty much
ones.
everything
Yeah.
else is going to be low down, like D, F. Like most people won't need it. Just
Like a
pass on
lot
the
of
shit.
those are just individualized. The rest, if any,
Talk,
and the
talk
Yeah.
with your doctor. Talk with your dietitian. They'll tell you if you need to take something.
I'm a dietitian. I'm not yours.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Oh shit! I wanted to make sure. I feel like something else I wanted to touch on, but it's,
Yeah.
vitamin D. We talked about supplements.
This is where we do the little dance
Yeah.
while we wait for Liam to look things up.
I just want to make sure because every time it ends, we're like, oh fuck, that was like the main thing we wanted to bring up.
Anything.
Oh, we're terrible at planning.
How much water
But
am I
that's okay,
supposed to
'cause
be?
we're funny.
Rob, shut up. How much water am I supposed to be drinking? That's I can't. So fluids. Everyone's like, oh, I can't drink tap water. I got to make sure it has electrolytes in it, or it's dehydrating me more, or coffee's dehydrating. Yeah, so like, and it's 8 glasses. It's always that classic shit. Like, what's the deal? Like, just what's the deal with like fluids and shit?
To be honest with you, I'm like low key intuitive in my own drinking water habits and also in encouraging other people's drinking water habits. And that's part one. Part two, a lot of it depends on activity. So when that whole gallon of water situation was going on, I was like, ma'am, you work out 20 minutes 3 times a week. No, you don't need a gallon of water.
You sit in an office and just
Like,
drink out of a gallon jug.
That you don't need a gallon of water, like that is diluting your like it you know what I mean?
Yes.
Overhydration and complications from it, they don't happen a lot, but they happen. Okay?
Yes.
Like you don't need to go overboard. If it feels like too much, it's probably too much. So that's what I mean by like intuitively fluiding yourself. You know what I mean? Like
people every year 1 person dies from overhydration. Don't let it be you.
Don't. Like, come on.
There was
and I feel like 2 liters is a good standard. You know what I mean? I would say, and then like I don't know, like I said, intuitiveness. Yeah. Like if you work out a lot, you're thirsty. Drink.
I always tell people, drink when you're thirsty. If you're peeing off yellow, look at your urine. That's like a great thing. Is it clear? You might be drinking too much. Is it like dark brown? You might. Is it purple? Then you've been eating too much of that rice. You gotta slow down. That lollipop rice comes right through you.
Now maybe back up. Like and then the electrolytes and stuff like that. I think again, situationally, I got me a little random free liquid IV I got from Costco right here. But basically, like again, if you are someone who is like you are a runner, you work out a lot, you sweat a lot, you lose a lot of water, and you lose a lot of electrolytes, like it's important for you to not just replenish with just water. You should also have electrolytes. Right. But as far as the trend and stuff goes, like these things can pack like 500 milligrams of salt in it. The average person doesn't need an extra 500 milligrams.
Seriously.
And so, and so with that stuff,
I've seen so many of these videos. They're like, you're hydrating wrong. You're just drinking water. You got to replace it with this. I'm like, you're not. Are you? Who the hell are you?
Everyone needs to add salt to rock.
Are you LeBron James sweating your ass off? I don't think so.
Electrolytes, glucose, they help to deliver hydration to your cells better. But you want to know something? And we talked about it earlier. Fruit, vegetables, they have all that. It's really nice. It's really nice.
Weird how we keep coming back to food. Oh, that's our thing with food.
Fruit is like the hydration love package. Like literally.
Meanwhile, to all my Canadians out there, you're huddled up in your igloo. You're not sweating much because it's freezing up here. Just focus on, having a couple doubles every day. You're good. You're good.
You're in the one Costco, just all huddling for warmth. Fuck. What can we get
Our Costco is made out of ice. Did you know that?
We're so sorry. Well, it's cold. Sorry.
You almost had it. We know it's cold. Sorry, A.
Sorry, A. Our frozen section is just like every other section. It's the same shit.
Everything's a frozen section here.
Frozen. So yeah, you don't
Yeah.
need your special rehydration liquid bullshit that someone's charging you $50 or whatever it is. Drink water, whatever water fucking works for you. I drink tap water. Oh my God, how am I not dead from every cancer? It's amazing that I'm not.
But also, does your tap water taste okay? I just can't with mine.
Well, see, I usually make it tea with it. Like
See, I know Liam's secret because we got an email from Anna Limo. They want to do an episode of our podcast.
If you don't remember Anna Lima, they're the special stick that you put in your water, and it makes it super awesome and hydrates you more. It restructures the water to be more hydrating. No, I'm not joking. This is not a joke. So clearly, this is not a joke.
Clearly, Liam's secret is that he has one of these, and he uses it on his tap water. That's why it doesn't horribly kill him.
I just use some kind of whatever filter.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
my fridge has. I use
Thanks
that
for the point, Rob.
Filter, and then I make tea out of tap water. It's fine. Whatever fucking water and other drinks. Yes, diet soda has water in it. For all the people that are saying like, oh, you put aspartame and it's no longer water. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, I hate that. There's that one girl that made the video that was like, as soon as you add something to water, it's no longer water. It's like, no, it's water with particles floating around in it.
Basic chemistry. Holy shit, did you skip that class?
Oh, yeah. Also, if it helps you to get watered out, because like some people don't just want to chuck plain water all day, that's fine. Add fruit, add lemon, add whatever. Like,
yeah, you got to detoxify. Yeah. Add your lemon, add your celery juice.
Yeah, totally. That little sprig of vitamin C. It's about it.
I still love the lemon water so much. Lemon water, I love it. It's so dumb and silly, and I love everything about it because it sums up wellness culture.
But do you prefer your lemon water with or without chia seed?
No, we're not getting fancy. We just standard. You wake up, you set up your camera, then you get back into bed, then you wake up again, full on body shot. Then you go over, you take your lemon, you put it in your special filtered water. Maybe it's an Anna Lima, maybe it's something else. It doesn't matter. No, sorry, it's room temperature. It can't be cold because that will shut down your metabolism. You got to make sure it's room temperature water with lemon. That'll detoxify you. Lubricate your organs. I think that's something it'll lubricate your organs and get everything. We'll just use other terms. Flowing.
Hey.
Flowing.
It'll get
so what you're
flowing.
saying is like, since I need money, I can just like get rid of my sell off my liver and my kidneys on the black market.
Well,
I don't
can
need
definitely
them.
sell one. Don't ask me how I know that, but you can get easily 15 grand off that. Easily.
Well, I mean, I clearly don't need them. I could just detox with this lemon water.
But you forget one day, and then it's a problem. So I would probably just
I guess. Okay.
He forgot his lemon water. Cause of death on the fucking sheet. Forgot lemon water. Damn it. We need to tell people. We need to make sure they know to drink their lemon water every day. Don't let them forget, people. Your lemon water is the only thing keeping you alive. Oh, shit.
Oh my God. I can't.
Oh.
And we're fucking done.